What's up, crafty musicians? Anitra here from the Crafty Musician blog, where we talk about ways how we can build a fan base and make money with music. And today's topic is discussing both of those points together in more of a nuanced scenario. So here's the scene, right? You get a call or an email. Someone wants you to perform a gig. The only catch is it's an unpaid gig. They want you to perform for exposure. So what do you say? How do you respond to that? How do you determine if that gig is actually worth your while? Why are they calling you? Why aren't they paying you? Do they even have a compensation package? Do they have a budget? All this and more we're going to get into today. Keep watching. Unpaid gigs are really interesting because most of the time, the person that's asking you or requesting you to do the show, they have a good cause, or they're a friend, or it's a nonprofit, or they're just starting their outfit up. They need help. You know them from a friend of a friend. So a lot of times you have this friction where you don't want to seem ungrateful or difficult. You wonder if there might be some post gig opportunities that might come about that you're missing out on. You wonder how many people are actually going to be there, if it's worthwhile, if they go and ask someone else, will they do it? So you've got all these questions in the back of your mind while you're trying to answer this person's inquiry. So it's really interesting. It's kind of a weird, kind of difficult position to be in. And I've had this happen so many times, and I decided to not necessarily always say no, but also to not just say yes off the bat. I have a decision tree that I go through, and that's what I want to share with you today. Your decision tree when it comes to responding to an unpaid gig request. Someone's calling and asking, hey, we saw you perform at such and such, and you did so good, and we are just starting our thing, and we want to give you the opportunity to, and then you get exposure, and you can come and perform, and you can get this and that, and ultimately they don't have any money that they want to give you, or they're not offering you any money. So how do you respond to that? So that's the question. And so the first thing you want to think about is, what is your actual value, right? How much would you charge for something like this? And you want to put that out there point blank, right? Even if they're saying they don't have a budget, they're not going to compensate you monetarily. You want to put that out there because you want to put on a table what your value actually is, because it's going to set you up for the next part of this conversation. Okay. So this conversation now turns into, you are sponsoring a performance. You are sponsoring a portion of their event. You are sponsoring the entertainment portion of their event. Operative word here being sponsor. So what do sponsors get? They get a number of different things when sponsoring an event. They get exposure. They get access to the attendees. They get to be able to have a booth, visibility at the events. They get to have their logo and branding to be a part of all of the official marketing of the events. They get advertising if there is any publications like a print booklet or something. They get advertising. They get social media mentions. They get goodie bags. They get thank you cards. They get, they get first right of refusal for the next events. They get things. So that's how you want to position yourself, as someone who is now getting things, right? So once the financial portion is off the table, that opens a door for you to get everything else that you really need to be getting at shows, whether you're getting paid or not. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about, is how do you open up that conversation. The very first thing you should do is put on the table what your actual fee is, right? Because that opens that opens that mindset shift to, oh, this person is a professional. This is what they would normally charge. Oh, how can I compensate for the gap, right? Because there's a payment gap. You are normally charging this amount, but this person is now saying they can't pay that. So how are they going to fill that gap, right? And so that's where you get to stipulate all of your requirements, all of your things that you want to get from the event. So that's the first thing. Tell them what your fee is up front. Okay. So that way they know this is how much of the gap that I need to fill in here. Right. And then now you need to know some things. Where is it going to be? When is it going to be? When do they want you to perform and for how long? You need to know that. Right. Now you also need to know who's coming. You telling me you're going to give me exposure, but I don't even know who is your audience. Do they even match the audience that are my ideal fans? Right. Who's coming? I'm going to tell you right now, I'm an acoustic soul performer. All right. So I'm not going to be able to get a whole lot of fan base traction from, let's say, a biker rally, right? Or a yacht club. Okay. So there needs to be some alignment there. So you need to know what type of event is it? Who's coming? How many people are coming? Right? So how many people are you going to actually have access to? What is the setup going to be like? Are they going to have you in a back corner playing background music, or are you going to be like a feature performer where everybody has to sit down and listen to you perform your music, but also talk about your house concerts, talk about your merchandise, talk about paying you for a performance for any of their upcoming events, right? You want to be able to talk about stuff so that you can make offers to people. You also want to be able to get access to the guest list. Even if you did come on board and you sponsored your entertainment set, right? They still might not want to give you their guest list up front, right? So you got to think about creative ways to loop around that, by maybe offering a raffle when people come and sign up to register, offering a raffle at your stage, or creating a giveaway type setup where they have to sign up in order to get the gift. And you can sponsor, maybe get a whole package together, a t-shirt, your music, a CD, a mug, or some sort of like care and gift box or something that you can offer as a giveaway prize, a raffle gift, and they have to sign up and give you their information in exchange for possibly winning this. That's a great way to have access to the attendees without actually asking the event planner, hey, can you give me your list? So, thinking creatively about stuff. The other thing is being able to negotiate, being able to talk through all of these things and what makes sense for you, and being able to communicate that without sounding like you're being difficult or like you're asking for too much or you're too much, right? So it's a balance there, and it's a finesse that you have to kind of work through in order to be able to actually get what you want and position yourself as somebody who is the sponsor and has a list of things and requirements that they need in order to fulfill this entertainment spot. The other thing to think about too is that there might be an option for you to bring in your own sponsor. Right. And so you can maybe offer this sponsor package to one of your business friends. Let's say you have an insurance friend who does insurance, or you have a realtor friend, you have a jewelry artist, a jewelry artist friend or something where they can come and maybe take advantage of some of these sponsorship incentives, right? That you are going to negotiate from this setup, and they can take advantage of that. They can come and have a booth or share a booth with you. You can put their logo up on your stage presence, on your banners and stuff, give them visibility, maybe even have a giveaway for them that they can add to your giveaway package, right? And y'all can share the guest list like that. So there are things that you can do to offset your cost without actually getting a monetary compensation from the event planner. So those are things that you can and should negotiate on in terms of when someone's asking you or when you're considering to perform an unpaid gig. So it's not always a no, I don't do any unpaid gigs, but it's not always a yes, I will take on all the unpaid gigs, right? So there's a balance there, and there's a way to negotiate, a way to ask for what you want. So if this is a scenario that comes up for you from time to time or often, I want you to download this free promotional performance checklist. Okay, this checklist I created, it walks you through all the typical things that you would need, all the things that you can and should ask for when it comes to responding to someone asking you to perform an unpaid gig. So it walks you through the things that we talked about today and even more options for you to be able to get the value that you actually need out of an unpaid gig. That is a free checklist, and you can download it at the link in the description box below. All right. I want you to win. And sometimes, especially if you're new, you might have to do a few unpaid gigs to get stage experience, to gather, to grab your local audience, right? To try to get some traction locally or regionally. You might have to do some free shows, even if you're well networked in your local area, you are experienced and you have a rotation. People are still going to ask you, hey, can you do this gig for free? I really need help. So this checklist will give you the authority and control behind this conversation, being able to have this conversation with confidence, and gives you all of the things that you can and should be asking for and more. All right. So download this checklist and implement the ideas, implement the points that I have written down for you in this checklist in your next conversation and see the difference. All right. It's a free download. Get it at the link down below in the description box. All right. As always, you can do anything that you put your mind to as long as you believe in yourself and commit. All right. I will see you next time.
Head on over to thecraftymusician.com for tips and tricks on how to level up your music career. Talk to you soon.